Shalom, more praise to Yahweh Shem Shah, WLC Pastor GMS. This is part 2 of the video, Hope, Making Not Ashamed. So let's continue. This is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 33. As it is written, behold, I lay in Zion a stumbling stone and a rock of offense, and whosoever believeth on him shall not be ashamed. So it says, I lay in Zion a stumbling stone. Look at the word stumbling stone. A stumbling stone is a stone that you stumble at. Okay? Let's go and get more specific.
Strong's G 3037.
Lithos. A stone, of small stones, of building stones, metaphorically, it says of Christ, which we know that means anointed. It's about the word of the world. It can be called Jesus Christ, Yahushua. But it says a stumbling stone. So a stumbling stone is a stone that you stumble at. Yahushua was a stumbling stone. He was a stumbling block. In other words, he was a stone, like a stone is put up on a person's path, and they trip over that stone. That was Yahushua. He was a stone, but he was a stone that people stumbled at. Why? Because they stumbled at the fact that he was the Messiah. They stumbled at the fact that they had to believe in him in order to receive salvation. That's why Yahushua was going through all the different things that he was going through with the scribes and the Pharisees and the Jews and so forth. That's why he was going through the things that he was going through. Alright? Because he was a stumbling stone. They stumbled at the stone, which is Yahushua. Okay? They couldn't receive that. So that was an obstacle that was put on their path. And that was an obstacle that prevented them from believing in him. Believing that he was the only begotten Son sent by the Father. But he says, as it is written, behold, I lay in Zion a stumbling stone, a rock and rock of offense. It's a rock of offense. It's a rock or a stone that they offended at. And whosoever believeth on him should not be ashamed. Whosoever believeth on Yahushua should not be ashamed. Why are you not going to be ashamed? Because hope maketh not ashamed. There's times when you may hope in things, but things that you hope for you may not receive. So that hope leads to disappointment. That hope leads to you being ashamed. But this is a hope that we're not ashamed in. This is a hope whereas the things that we hope for are going to come to pass. So it will not lead to disappointment. So whoever believes in Yahushua should not be ashamed, because all the things that are to be fulfilled in regards to Yahushua will be fulfilled. So there's a second coming and delivering the children of Israel, begin with the elect from their sins, and destroying this place called America, which is Babylon the Great according to the Bible. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2. This is the book of Sirach, also known as Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 2, verse 10. It says, look at the generations of old, and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? No. Did anyone ever trust in the Lord and was confounded? Look at the word confounded. See what that means. This is from AV611.com. It says KJV Dictionary, confound. To mingle and blend different things so that things just cannot be distinguished. To mix in a man in a mass of or crowd. Slakia. So that individual cannot be distinguished. To throw into disorder. Let's go to another definition. To perplex, to disturb, to the apprehension by indistinctiveness of ideas or words. To abash, to throw mind into disorder. To cast down, to make ashamed. So that's basically what it means, to be ashamed. So has anyone trusted in the Lord and was confounded? Or has anyone been trusting in the Lord and been ashamed? No. Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? No. If anyone has abided in the Lord's fear, anyone who has ever abided in the Lord's fear has not been forsaken. Which the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. So if you abide in the Lord's fear, if you continue to live in the fear of the Lord, which is the beginning of knowledge, the Lord's statutes and commandments, you're not going to be forsaken. Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? So whoever called upon the Lord in sincerity and truth and faith, and the Lord ever despised him? None. None have ever done that. For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction. So it's giving you the nature of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. So guess what? If you trust in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, you're not going to be ashamed, man. But it says, woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways, meaning someone that's double-minded. A sinner that goes two ways is somebody that's straddling the fence. You know? You're going two ways, man. You're not going on one path to lead to righteousness, one path to lead to salvation. Okay? You're a person that's veering off into your own understanding, leading to your own understanding. So that will lead to someone being ashamed. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. So that means someone that's weak-minded. Okay? If I look at the word faint-hearted, lacking courage, timid, there you go. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended. So that's somebody that don't have hope. That's somebody that don't have faith. Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? So these things are going to happen to these people who are going to be ashamed because they don't trust in the Lord. They don't have faith. Philippians chapter 1 verse 20. According to my earnest expectation, in other words, the desire, a strong desire. If I look at the word earnest, if I look at earnest expectation on blue letter.
Strong's G 603. Apakaradakia.
And what does it say? Anxious and persistent in expectation. Earnest, resulting from or showing sincere and intense conviction, or in other words, a strong desire. Or see right here, Merriam-Webster. That was from Oxford Languages. Earnest definition of a meeting, Merriam-Webster, characterized by or proceeding from an intense and serious state of mind. So that's what it means, earnest. And look at the word earnest expectation, we already went into it. It even says a watching, right here, it says a watching with outstretched head. So a person, apo meaning from, kara meaning the head, dokio to look, to watch. So from the head, look, watch, or to watch from the head, or to look with an outstretched head. A person has an earnest expectation like a dog. It's like a dog that hears his owner, right? A dog hears his owner, and the dog may be in a car. What is the dog going to do? The dog going to stretch his head out the window looking for them. To look with an outstretched head, as a person has an earnest expectation. They're expecting something. They're really looking for it. They're really searching for it. Okay? That's why it says anxious and persistent expectation. So it says, according to my earnest expectation and my hope, that in nothing I shall be ashamed. In nothing I shall be ashamed. I mean, what? He gonna maintain his hope. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That's in the book of Hebrews. That in nothing I shall be ashamed, but that with all boldness as always. So now also Yahushua shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death. So Yahushua is going to be magnified in the Apostle Paul's body now as well, whether it be by life or death. In life we magnify Yahushua through teaching is the word of Yahushua. And in death we magnify Yahushua. But guess what? We're dying in Yahushua, because to die in Yahushua is gain. And therefore you become a martyr. So if you live, you magnify Yahushua by teaching his word. And if you die, you magnify Yahushua because you die a martyr, you die a martyr, dying in the faith that you live by, making Yahushua even greater. So you magnify him by teaching, and you magnify him in death. Okay? Remember, scriptures say, let us praise the famous men. Our forefathers of old were famous men. Why? Why are they renowned men? Because they maintain their faith unto death. It speaks about that in Hebrews 11 chapter. For me to live is Yahushua, and to die is gain. So if to live in is Yahushua, for me to live in Yahushua and to die is gain. So either way, you still magnify Yahushua, whether you're dead or whether you're alive or whether you're dead. Chapter 4, verse 26. Be not ashamed to confess thy sin, and force not the course of the river. But I was going into another lesson that I wanted to do. Alright? Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Look at the word substance. Hypostasis.
Strong's G 5287. Hypostasis. Hypostasis.
A setting or placing under, thing put under, substructure, foundation. So yeah, it gives you a lot of different things. So basically you get foundation, steadfastness of mind, firmness. That's basically what it means. So faith is the substance of things hoped for. Faith is the foundation of things hoped for. Okay? Steadfastness of mind also said. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for. The evidence of things not seen. So faith is the evidence, the proof of that it is that you don't see. It's the foundation of what you hope for. It's the evidence, the proof of things that you don't see. Because the things that you don't see, you've never seen it. But you have faith that it's there. You have faith that it exists. And then it goes, as you read on, it speaks about all of our forefathers who maintain their faith. And when I spoke about let us praise the famous men, that's in the book of Sirach. I believe it's maybe the 43rd chapter, if I'm not mistaken, or 41st chapter. So with that, I'm going to close and say, oh, praise the Yahweh, Shah, double I, say, positive, GMS, all brothers, something, Shalom.